is the director of Tattooed Heart, that candidated for Best International Short. Welcome, Sheldon, and thank you for being with us today.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Pretty good. It's a little late. Well, it's like
in Hong Kong, right?
Hong Kong, yeah, but just got off of a long commercial shoot, so I'm a little tired. That's all.
Well, thank you for taking care to come on this Q&A session, even though it's a bit late and you're tired.
All good.
First of all, let me give the audience some information about you, Sheldon. So Sheldon is a young director that started working as a 3D animator and programmer with NASA, and then he transitioned to commercial shoot. He produced a few video commercials for Samsung and Lenovo, and he also never give up his love for film, so he decided to make this short, Tattooed Heart, in 2019, starring Jennifer Morrison and Madison Wolfe, two great actresses. And he produced this short called Tattooed Heart, which is a story of a creative writer who's a creative instructor. She goes to she's doing this course for women, young women who are in prison, and she in a way gets too attached to one of the girls that has a troubled past, and somehow this affects her significantly. So I wanted to ask you, first of all, where this idea came from. You said in a way that you were interested about creating a story in which you could show the triumph over tragedy, and you felt it was also a personal issue you wanted to work on.
Yeah, I mean, my older sister is she runs a social work clinic here in Los Angeles, dealing with domestic and drug abuse. And so, growing up alongside her, that topic of overcoming trauma and how it's not really like a Disney movie, if you will. Trauma is it's a very multidimensional, drawn out, painful thing that people, in order to overcome it, it's just not easy, and I wanted to tell a story about someone who had been through some trauma, and perhaps you could say her student and herself are kind of swapped in the very end, because as part of the first step to overcoming trauma, she faced her demon, and it's not over after that. Now you've got to heal. It's just overcome trauma. It's not easy, and I wanted to take a kind of entertaining yet realistic look at the subject.
Right. And I read you are training in performance direction. How did you use this, recent training in your directing experience with Tattooed Heart?
Well, prior to Tattooed Heart, my background has been very technical. So a lot of technology commercials, or like travel, like Anthem commercials that are just really technical yet also beautiful and visual, and my ability to direct actors, was limited insofar as, okay, look up and happy and positive, look this way, make sure eye lines that way. That's how it is when you're directing these 30-second spots. So I thought that it would be really important for me to kind of get my head out of the technical side of directing and into the performance aspect. So I spent some time at the Beverly Hills Playhouse, and audited, and I made sure that everyone was there to know that I was there to learn acting as a director, so I did that, and the second thing I did was, since I am in the DGA, and I had some sponsors. I went to one of my best friends' dad, Phil Tan, who's one of my DGA sponsors, the Directors Guild of America, and I just chatted with him about how to communicate with like celebrities, for example, on set, and how to be very short and targeted with what you want them to do. I think a lot of times when directors might say a little too much, they'll say, hey, I would like you to get to your beat faster so that in my edit I can do X, Y, Z, and oftentimes like a simple just, can you get to your beat twice as fast is the answer. And those are the kinds of things I learned in performance direction.
Fantastic. I mean, definitely, it shows how much you can transition from, the director's role is also technical. You never get rid of that side, but it's important to communicate with the actors. So I think you did a smart choice in choosing acting and not saying that you were doing it with the purpose of directing actors. So they took you seriously, and there was no bias from the trainers or whoever was there.
I mean, I had to act, but it was yeah.
Yeah, and about the research you did for this movie, which kind of research did you do about the criminal background of these characters, and where did you start and where this research led you through?
Well, my half brother Mark Schwartz is a detective at the Beverly Hills PD homicide
Oh,
unit, and so I was able to really dig deep with him and as a brother, and then he just shared me. I was looking for trauma and how it occurs in human life, and I, he shared lots and lots of stories. There's that.
I think we lost you in the camera. We can't see you anymore.
I'm not sure why.
Um,
Hold on.
Sorry, guys, we are in live stream, so these things happen. If you check on the bottom part, there is the camera icon. Yes, I see you again. Whew. Okay, you're live stream. 1 second. Here's again, Sheldon. Sorry, guys, for the interruption. Keep saying, Sheldon, where were you? You were talking about your brothers being a detective, and he allowed you to search through. If you can rephrase that.
He was able to share a lot of stories, just how traumatic events such as the kind that I portrayed in Tattooed Heart occur. So along with, I mean, he gave me a lot of time, a lot of data, a lot of research. I was able to. I can't really say what he did, but I learned quite a bit. And the second way was just the research. Me and my team looking up police records and digging through the stories and profiles of, basically the history of criminal psychology for the past 30 years, and identifying, mannerisms, color choices, real estate choices, just all the choices they make in order to make a more realistic predator.
I was really interested about the way the speech between the instructor and the man inside of the prison, in which was saying, do not get too much attached to this little girl, because in a way they are there, and they are liars. They can trap you with their emotional troubles. So I was really intrigued how which kind of research brought you to understand this side of the criminal psychology that in a way is acting like, pass me the metaphor, like a spider trying to attract the person that they help them be freed.
Well, I did two things. One is I attended. I can't say the name of the organization, but there is an organization in LA where juvenile hall alumni meet and write poetry together, and it's moderated and I went a couple of times and really just had a good chat with a lot of them about juvenile hall conditions in California. And the truth is that it's rough. It's not a rehabilitation system as much as more. It's just jail, and there are counselors in place, but the counselors are jaded, because there's just so much breakdown in communication between the cultural diversity that's brought into these juvenile hall systems and what we've been trained to do. There are a lot of very angry kids in there, very angry kids, and I can imagine that all this built up trauma is just something, something you got to deal with.
Right. And about the production, where did you shoot exactly, and how was the process of it? How long did it take you, and how was the making of it in the end?
Part of making Tattooed Heart was also a test for myself to see my readiness for TV directing. And so I ran the show the same way a TV show would be run, So I partnered with writer and showrunner Matt Olmstead, who I wrote the script with, who is also a showrunner, showrunner of the previous showrunner of the Chicago franchise. And we wrote the script. We had our tone meetings, 2 or 3 tone meetings, and then from there on, it was just getting a crew together. Thanks to my agent at Gersh, Greg Pettison, we were able to get in contact with our DP, who shot Forrest Gump, and he came on board, and I mean, it was just we did it. I did it almost kind of like just technical, like planning a commercial, and making sure you had all the right people, producer, like the right line producer, the producer, the right, just the right team.
Right. Was it like a fast-paced production? Like you had very few days to shoot?
Oh yeah, we shot in 2 days.
Oh, okay. Very kind of a fast-paced production then.
Yeah.
Same thing for post-production. I mean, in terms of how many days did you took for post-production? A month or?
Yeah, I would say about a month. A month of just editing and finishing, and so.
Cool. So what's next now? What's the next project? If you have anything else?
Now I am in Hong Kong. I've been working on branded content. Just finished a project for Yamaha. Now working with some really interesting financial entities out here that have a lot of creative freedom in the type of content that you can make. So I might be doing one of those viral Thai life insurance commercials soon. But in terms of narrative, I do have a project on the horizon. It is a World War II Jewish rebellion story. Can't say too much about it, but it's really cool, and about another concentration camp, Terrorism.
So there is still suspense and thriller in a way going on.
It's a thriller. Yeah. It's definitely a thriller.
That's definitely your genre then.
I hope so. I mean, I guess it found me.
Your favorite, at least, for now.
Yes, for now, for sure.
Okay. Well, cool. I mean, thank you very much for being with us today, Sheldon. And let me remind the audience that you can watch Tattooed Heart on our festival platform from the 28th to the 30th of August. Also, the winners of this edition will be streamed for a week on our festival partner, Festival Emergent platform. And you can also vote for your favorite film of the entire edition, either a short or a feature. Just watch and then vote for your favorite one. So please, I do recommend to watch Sheldon Schwartz, Tattooed Heart, candidate for Best International Short. And thank you again, Sheldon, for being with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Sorry for the technical difficulty.
No worries.